welcome you to my live. I'm going to wait until people come on live, but in the meantime, if you watch later, then welcome. I will be having a talk about crystal telepathy, meaning telepathy with your crystals. So I'm going to be sharing everything that I have learned, well, not everything, but some of the things that I have learned about crystals and crystal magic. I don't want green screen. Why is green screen? See, I never know how to switch green screen off. Oh, there we go. Done. Okay, wait, maybe I could do like crystals at the background. Let's see, like I've got some crystals here in the background, which is amazing. I think I'm gonna do that. Yay! So I have my crystals behind me, and I'm going to be sharing about crystals. I'm really just waiting for people to come alive, and we'll be talking about crystal telepathy today. So if you want to know about crystals and how to take care of them, or how to communicate with crystals, then stick around, because I'm going to be sharing some beautiful information about the crystal kingdom, also known as the mineral kingdom. And I'm just starting with some tuning fork energy. This is the crown chakra. Obviously, when you want to have telepathy with crystals, your crown chakra needs to be open and your third eye. So I'm going to be talking and sharing my knowledge. I'm really hoping that some people will come and listen, because let's give it a moment. If you come later, this tuning fork is for your crown chakra, and look at it, it's like a mirror. Wow. It's a it just became a mirror, this tuning fork. So this tuning fork will harmonize and balance your crown chakra. I also want to do the third eye chakra. So you see behind me is the crystals that I work with. They are my little babies and I work with them often. And this is for the third eye. So I'm just pulling in, let me just set an intention for this session. Just calling on all the people who are interested in crystals, pulling the energy of all the people all over the world to come and listen and learn about crystals and the mineral kingdom. And if you don't come now, if you come later, I am so excited for you. Let's take a nice deep breath in and create a sacred space. I always like to create sacred space wherever I share online, just to keep the energy high and high vibrational, and the frequency uplifted, so we don't have too many trolls. I'll only be responding to questions about crystals, so if anybody has any other comments or questions about other random things, I won't even respond. I'm going to be quite focused. Right. Okay, so let's talk about the crystal magic. With me here, I have the same bowl of crystals as I have behind me. So I guess let the crystals just start showing the crystals that I have. So we can see some crystal energy joining. This is one of my crystals that I use. Look at it, it goes into a mirror. We can hold it there. And this one I use quite often to activate energy with, or to actually suck energy out of people when I do healing. I'm just showing the crystals so that people can come, and if you're interested, I will be sharing more about them. This lapis lazuli is from Kabul, Afghanistan. My ex-husband actually bought this for me. He was flying. I was a pilot in Afghanistan, and he went on a trip there. Afghanistan has got beautiful lapis lazuli, and it's also the third eye of the earth. So countries have, like, if you want to see them as that, you know, there's a saying that Kabul and Afghanistan is the third eye of the earth, and there's loads of lapis lazuli in the mountains there. And so this specific crystal is from Afghanistan, and it was a beautiful gift that my ex gave me, and I still have it. Sometimes it looks like a finger, like it has its own little. I use this one a lot for my third eye and for dreaming, or anyway, just sharing some of my crystals so that people can get a feel of what we're doing. This crystal has got some gold color. It's really, it always makes me think of Eve. I don't know why, but yeah, so that's some of the crystals. This one I use often. I use this one for healing. I use this for protection. I use this. So feel free to ask me questions about crystals. Right, let's get started. Now I'm just going to talk and continue with this conversation. So what information did I get about crystals? I was in a session the other day, and we went to quite a high frequency, me and my friend, who is also psychic. And the information that we downloaded was that crystals are crystallized beings. Okay, so if you can imagine a being that has been crystallized, so their souls, the crystal kingdom is a soul group of beings with very colorful auras and colors that were crystallized in the earth because they also fell like we did, you know, some of the crystal beings and light beings, when we came to this earth and we fell into this energy, the 3D matrix. So the crystals are, let me just make myself more dense so more people can see me. Just going to make myself more dense so more people can see me. Sometimes I'm not dense enough, and then nobody can find me or see me. You know, I become quite invisible to the normal eyes. Okay, there we go. I'll just make myself more dense. I'm coming into your frequencies. Hi everybody. I'm dropping into your frequency. I'm coming dense, more dense, and you can now see me. Okay, great. So I'm talking about the crystals, and so you know that, as I mentioned, they are crystallized beings. So if you imagine a soul of a being crystallizing, they will be like crystals. Okay, so these are real, actual beings that have been crystallized. So a lot of them are trapped beings. They are scattered, they were shattered, and so they crystallized. The earth took them as a layer to help them shield and to help them to preserve them. Okay, so sometimes when you have crystals, you will also, just to know that you're not just there to use them, but to know that there are actual beings that have been crystallized and their energy is still preserved in the crystals as a crystal itself. So that's why crystals are so colorful, because these beautiful beings, the crystal beings, have actually been crystallized, and you'll see it in the stones. And that's why they have all this amazing frequency gifts, because they were the beings that has frequency gifts that they can actually do all kinds of things. And crystals is quite important in our world. We use it for a lot of stuff, for technology, and so much more. So just to acknowledge, firstly, when you work with crystals, is to really work with them with presence and not to just want from them. Okay, oftentimes in this reality, people are always looking for how much can I get out of someone or something? How much can I take from another person? What can you give me? So when you are with a crystal, first thing to do is to acknowledge it as a being. It has an energy, it has its own frequency. It may not look like you in physical form. It's crystallized, but it has many, many gifts. And first thing is to acknowledge it and to be grateful. Okay. So be present with your crystals. First thing. That's the first thing always, is to be present. So slow down your energy, connect to your belly button. And you can do that with me now. Let's do that so that you have a little exercise of how to be more present in your core. Let's take a nice deep breath in with me, like a sea breath. So when you just breathe out, I want you to hear the breath like you would hear the sea. So it's in the back of your throat, almost like a whisper. And as you do that, I want you to really just touch your belly button. Press actually your finger into your belly button and just become aware of your belly button. And as you breathe out, I want you to just release the air and feel your hand moving up and down. So in and out, connecting to your core. Connect to your core and in and out. Great. So number one thing is to be present and in the moment with your crystals, and not to always just want to take from them. Okay. So crystals have a lot of magical properties, and you can actually why am I speaking so slow? It's almost like I'm reaching into a universe that's very slow. Just hold on. So energetically, I'm just slowing down. I have to slow down for you to hear me. Okay. Some people are on a lower frequency. So I'm going to just see if I can attune you a bit to come higher. Because this energy that I'm sharing is very high frequency. It's light frequencies and sound frequencies and crystal frequencies. One of the highest frequencies that we get is in the crystals. So when you go and you find crystals, the first thing to do is to become present with them and to acknowledge their existence as real, true frequencies and beings. They're not just random little rocks in this universe. No, they have been crystallized when they got scattered, okay? Sometime in our history of many, many thousands of years, we have been through experiences as souls where there were explosions and planets exploded, and so our souls actually got scattered. Okay, and that's also sometimes why we feel very lost, and then it's almost like we all went into a blender and some of us are inculcated together, our souls and our energies. Okay, so the crystals are similar and they were crystallized into the earth to preserve them. So how beautiful is that of the earth, to offer that space for the crystals. Okay, so it's very important to acknowledge these beings firstly and to say thank you. Always come to nature with gratitude. I'm getting a call to bring on this blue crystal. So the blue crystal energy that it just wants to be part of it. I'm not going to share too much about what it is. Please feel free to ask me questions. Matthew, hi. Interesting point of view that you have. I'm just going to raise the frequency of this live. So any trolls or gremlins or any lower frequency beings that wants to enter the space, I'm just going to block you out. Bring so much light that crystals are going to just push it out, turn you out, push it out, so you can't handle this light, and so that my hair don't bother you. I always get comments about my hair. It's as if people want to attack my crown chakra, but it's not going to work. And if you do that, comments like that, I'm just going to remove you. So remove. All right. I actually want to hide you so you cannot comment anymore. I don't have any tolerance for any kind of comments. I don't really care about algorithm. I'm here to speak to the people who can actually receive from me. So I'm excited to talk about crystals today. Now, that's the first thing that I wanted to share was about what crystals are and how to be with them in general. Okay, similar to when you meet nature or plants or the natural world. Just raising the frequency of my listeners. A lot of lower frequencies. So YouTube is so random. Okay, so the next thing I want to share about if you telepathically want to connect to crystals is that your third eye must be open. When you want to communicate to crystals, you have to have telepathy with them, or your you have to develop your clairsentience or your clairvoyance, claircognitive. So all the clairs, like depending on which one of yours is the strongest, that is the one that you have to tune into a crystal and see what information you get. Now, crystals are very intelligent beings, so they can also take care of themselves. And I want to talk about something that I often see happen, which is kind of like a myth or a misconception about crystals. Like a lot of people are following Google, or they Google what to do with the crystal and then they follow that instructions. Not all crystals want the same care. Okay, so some crystals, doesn't matter what the books or the Google or ChatGPT say, you speak to, whoa, I just spat on my crystal. You speak to your crystal and you ask it, what do you require? Do you want me to put you in salt water? Do you want a little bit of sunlight? Do you want indirect sunlight? Do you need to go onto the soil? Do you need to be close to plant? Do I need to give you to somebody? Do you want to live with somebody else? Because sometimes people keep crystals for themselves, but that crystal actually needs to go somewhere else. Do I need to go put you in the earth in a very specific location? Do I need to return you to the earth? Okay. It's like crystals have this energy that I've been hoarded a lot in this universe. So there's a lot of hoarding around. It's almost like having gold or something precious and then holding on to something that it should not really be with you. So that's the second thing, is to not get attached to crystals too much that they only belong to you, because sometimes you have to take the crystal to a specific place or person and it belongs there. Now, also what I've noticed is that people place crystals and they build grids. Okay, grid building. People love building grids with their crystals. And a lot of the times people don't really know what they're doing when they're building these grids. Some people do know how to do it, but a lot of people don't. And the misconception is that just by following a book or just putting them in a specific shape, or it's not always going to, sometimes it can actually create a negative effect in your space, okay? Or it may do nothing and you think you're protecting yourself, but you're not really actually building or doing anything. So unless if you really have the gift of grid work, don't even attempt to do grid work, because it's going to not be the greatest thing, and it sometimes has a negative effect. And people put crystals in places, in buildings or on altars and stuff that really shouldn't be there, and then it just interferes with all kinds of energies that it shouldn't be interfering with. The other thing is that when you want to take care of your crystal, sometimes there are entities attached to it and you need to check and clear. Sometimes when you have a crystal, there will be a being that got attached to it. It may have been there already when you got it, or somebody walked into your space and it popped into the crystal. Or when you do crystal healing, a lot of the times you'll have to cleanse your crystals more, because people's energies kind of stuck in them. But not always. Some crystals clear themselves. And you can also, another thing is to ask your crystals to take care of themselves. Just ask them and tell them, take care of yourself. And they will. They are able to clear themselves. They're able to cleanse themselves. So not to just go ahead and do cleansing and clearing with crystals, like whatever the book said. Now, if it's a lapis lazuli, the book or the Google said you must put it in salt water. No, sometimes it's different. Maybe it needs to go in the soil. You speak to this thing as if it's its own unique character, its own. You tune into it and you ask it, what do you require from me? Where do you want to go? Do you want to stay with me? Should I give you to someone else? And because crystals are so expensive, people don't really want to give away their crystals. So I don't think people are really going to do that. But yeah. That's the one thing about crystals I wanted to share. What else do I want to share? They can be a magical add-on in your world, in your space. Cats really like to be around crystals as well, and the elementals. So sometimes put your crystals outside and say to the elementals, come play with the crystals. Just put it out for them, you know. It's like a bowl of fruit, like you would have a bowl of fruit and you would put it out for the birds. You can put your bowl of fruit out for the crystals. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to share more about the crystals. I don't seem to have any listeners live that's interested in what I'm talking about. So I'm rather going to end the live and then have that little bit of information. So if anybody wants to learn more about crystals and how to attune yourself so that you can actually telepathically tune into crystals and know more how to work with them, the unique different frequencies that they are, then you can comment and let me know. I may be doing a workshop on crystal telepathy, but in person or on live, depending on how much interest I get after people watch this. So I'm going to leave the live up. If anybody is here and you want to ask a question now about crystals, you can do so, because I'm actually oh, hi. Thank you for sharing that you love my music. If you want to know anything about crystals right now, this is your moment. You can ask me. I don't know if you just joined. I'm talking about crystal telepathy. I'm actually about to close down this live, but if you have any questions for me about crystals, I work with crystals and frequencies, sound frequencies. So I oftentimes incorporate crystals into my work. This is played as tuning fork for you as we go. This is the crown chakra. A lot of people's crowns are blocked. Amethyst. Yeah. Okay, so what do you want to know about amethyst? Amethyst, what I usually do is what I want, just as I was explaining in this live, is I build a connection with each crystal that I have by tuning, creating a link with them and talking to each crystal as if it's its own being. So I'd never generalize amethyst as this is what amethyst is supposed to do, okay? Because I feel like we have so much more information now about crystals than we had in the past. So there's a new way, kind of like an old way, but a new way that we can work with crystals. So if you want to know about a specific crystal that you have, it's like I said, the first thing is to become present with it, acknowledge it as a being. I don't know if you heard the beginning of this live, but these crystals are actually crystallized beings that have been crystallized. So they are kind of like souls that have, they are not, that's why it's so colorful, because there was a time where there were a lot of explosions in certain planets and the souls got split. And so they kind of crystallized in the earth. So it's real beings, and that's why it's colorful, because they were very colorful, their auras were very colorful, and they were like, I mean, they had the colors and the frequencies going and the sound. And so if you want to know about amethyst, there's so much that you can find out on the internet, but what I would suggest is a new way to work with crystals is to really tap into them and ask the crystal itself, what do you want to contribute? Or speak to it and say, can you activate yourself? Can you clear yourself? Can you take care of yourself? And also, what do you want to give me something, or do you require something from me? Because sometimes a specific crystal, because if it has been shattered, it actually needs a little bit of healing, okay? So treat each crystal like its own unique being, and learn to communicate and hear the messages of that specific crystal. And then in that way, you build a relationship with your crystals instead of thinking that an amethyst is good for that and a lapis lazuli is good for that. And that's very general. It's almost like saying sage clears everything. So I've had crystals in my healing sessions, and I never worry about what crystal it is. If the crystal speaks to me, it says, I'm going to put me on this part of the body, or put me in this space, or go and cleanse me. I need you to do this for me. I just tap into that. So that's why this live is called Crystal Telepathy, so that you actually activate your telepathic skills with the crystals instead of having like a handbook. Yeah, it's like creating a link with it. I call it telepathy because crystals are very frequency orientated, and they have high frequency and colors. We just tap into that with our third eye or with our crown. And sometimes, depending on what your gift is, if you see visuals or if you hear voices, you can literally communicate to them as if they are a being, because it is crystallized beings. These are souls that have been crystallized. Okay, so some of them actually need healing. Now, the interesting thing is, if you ever see a crystal that has been shaped, this crystal is no longer in its natural form, so it's kind of lost a little bit of its potency. And sometimes these crystals actually need a little bit healing, and they're also not as powerful as they should be, so they shouldn't be used for extreme protection. Or this crystal actually, I had a psychic attack 4 months ago that was quite extreme. It was an energy attack, and this crystal is really a protective crystal, this specific one. And when I got it immediately, it was part of my it almost like, I'm here to help you, But then when it protected me during the attack, it got damaged. So it now has a crack, and I had to remove it from my practice. Mostly I just give this crystal a lot of healing, or I put it in the soil, or I'll just leave it so it can be, because it's had some damage done to it. Firstly, because it's now in a shape. So try to avoid supporting shaped crystals. I know there are reasons why people do it. You have all kinds of shapes, and people use it for magic and all things and jewelry. But just be aware that they sometimes the crystals has then been kind of downgraded from their natural form. But that also doesn't take away, because there are some of them that are actually okay with that kind of purpose, right? Just know that tune into your crystal, the specific one that you have. Like every time I look at this crystal, I see a blue beam. Okay, this crystal has a very similar to the color of the crystal. It has have a blue soul, and sometimes when I work, this crystal says, "Hey, I want to work with you." Okay, so the other thing that I want to share before I go is, I see. Yeah, you see, you prefer natural shapes. Good. Yeah, but also sometimes then if you do see a crystal that has been shaped, you can also help that crystal. We are also here to help them. We're not just here to receive from the crystals or take from them or use them, because a lot of this idea that crystals are always just been used for making us look pretty or protecting us or helping us heal, where we rather also see that sometimes we can offer them something and help them be more free or heal some of their frequencies. I often use my tuning forks. If I feel a crystal requires some healing, I do sound healing on the crystal. Okay, so well, you can sing into them. One of them is telling me, who said that? This one. This one loves it when I work with it. This is a really beautiful healing crystal. It actually opens up a whole hologram of beautiful shapes and colors. I don't know if it will do that now, or if anybody has third eye, then they would be able to probably see it even on camera. But this one sometimes opens up a hologram, and then it just starts doing. It's almost like it goes, and then it just shapes or shifts. It just does its own attunements on the clients. Or other times I use this one and I'll just put it over a chakra, and it goes, it just sucks out anything that shouldn't be there, and immediately it transmutes and transforms it. So this specific crystal, that's what it does. I don't need to know what it's called. I don't need to know anything that anybody else has told me, because I know this crystal. This type of crystal has also been used in, it's funny, they tell me, like spaceships, where the hologram. So you do get like crystals that are used for way more advanced things than it's already existing, than we are even acknowledging. So beautiful, yes. And it will, it is a tuning at the moment. It's just, whoever's listening, this crystal is actually doing, it's almost like a computer, the crystals in the computers, but this one is now just like, some people have programs like, I don't know how many of you are actually aware that we are in a program, or we're in some kind of matrix or a simulation or whatever you want to call it, but sometimes these crystals can also help to just reprogram you, even just being in its presence by activating it. And you don't really activate it. You literally just have to be with it and say, hey, show me what you can do. You don't really always have the knowledge to activate things. Like, people have such delusional ideas, like, I'm going to activate this crystal. This crystal already knows how to activate itself. Literally, you just can say to it, activate yourself, show me who you are. How can I contribute to you? What would you like to do? You know, like, what is your purpose? Like, what would you like to do in my space? Like, how can we collaborate? Hi, Lily. And my cat's here as well. She's like enjoying the last bit of sun. This is now the latest lazuli. Don't know where this one is from. I actually don't know where any of these are from. I always find that the darker stones, for me, sometimes I use them to ground people's energy or to protect. If I feel there's a lot of heavy energy and it's too much for me, I'll just place the crystal on a person's body and I say, okay, you do the work. Because as healers, sometimes we want to do everything and we don't have to. You just like, okay, you do it. I know that you can do that. So you do whatever you do. And give them the control of the session. Of this little blue. It turns into a mirror. I don't have many crystals because I don't like to hoard, and I travel lightly, so I only got a few. This is an agate. This one I also sometimes use to suck out. I find that these ones that are open like this, they sometimes, not all of them, but I have found that sometimes I use them on the chakras, and they just they pull out energy that shouldn't be there. Which other ones can I share? That's my Jasper. This yellow one is lovely. I love my yellow little Jasper. How are you feeling? I don't know if you're here now or later. How are you feeling? Let's do some. I love how this turns into a mirror. It's because of the green screen, and then when I put it there, it becomes a mirror. Where is it? There. So funny. So you're also getting a little bit of a sound healing. Freebie, have any questions for me about anything related to energy, clearing, crystal healing? If you have any specific crystals with you. Firstly, if you have crystals in your home, go and collect all of them and put them in salt water as a start, and leave the salt water outside in the shade overnight, or if you can't put it outside, put it inside. Yeah, I do feel the music. It's very intense to be me. You are correct. I am super psychic and aware. I have all the clairs, like I see, I sense, I feel, I hear, and I know. And which is the other ones? Smells. I even sense the smells. I have to make myself denser to be seen on these lives, because otherwise people can't find me. Just for sending you some sound healing. What is your name? Sorry, I can't actually see. One thing about me is I'm very blind. What is your name? It's written in a strange way. Okay. Let's do some healing. Yeah. Anyway, so that was my talk, Crystal Telepathy. We are in a new frequencies are available to us. A lot of the old things of how we used to practice magic or energy work. It's actually, we've been upgraded, and a lot of the knowledge that's available nowadays are not anymore in books, and it's new. It's almost like we are now opening ourselves to learn new ways of using, or maybe some of it's very ancient and we're remembering our gifts, but mostly you can't find this anymore in a sorry, I'm just going to remove this comment. I don't want any of that frequency here right now. So if you comment any inappropriate things to me, you immediately will be muted from my channel. Okay, I won't tolerate it. Just know that coming back to, a lot of us are upgrading and we are learning new ways to do energy work. What I would say is, instead of just following what everybody else is doing or saying about general trendy things, like a lot of things have become trendy in the spiritual world. For instance, crystals and how to work with them, and amethyst does this specifically. You know, that's an example. Or sage is very trendy and everybody's saging everything, or they're using Palo Santo. I see people do this Palo Santo thing on videos often, and I'm like, what are you actually doing? Like, literally. Other than enjoying the smell of that, it doesn't actually do much. So even on energy cleansing, just the use of sage and Palo Santo is such a misconception of how to clear energy and work with energy. Those are medicinal smells, medicinal herbs. They clear some energies. They may connect you to healing energy, but they do not clear a lot of other things. And when you just sage or you do your little Palo Santo, because everybody is doing Palo Santo, you're doing very little. And it's just like doing a show for the camera. Content curation. And it's okay. I'm aware of it. I'm just it's a misconception of what actually is what is trendy about everything in the spiritual world. A lot of it is now only uncovering itself again. So it's kind of almost like new energy, and we've got to really be open, telepathic, ask, communicate, be present, and ask the energies we're working with, what is required here right now, not just follow books or the grid work that everybody is just doing everywhere, and building a grid here and activating that grid and opening this portal and that portal. It's a lot of bullshit, because if you're not like if that's not your forte, then don't mess around with that. Grid work, there's a whole hierarchy of beings, non-physical beings involved in grid work. So if you are there and you're building your grids with your 5 crystals, and you may just be interfering with something you're not even supposed to. So I would say, like, unless you really know what you're doing, don't do it. Don't do it. Some people have gifts with crystals and they can build grids, and it's very dangerous, actually. People can build very dangerous grids and shields with crystals, and some people have old magic in them and they don't know what they're doing, and they can hurt people around them. Like I have known people who are so shielding the house, and then they hurt the people in the house because the shields are so powerful, but they don't realize that what they're doing really when they're activating these things. So if you're not sure what you're activating, don't just activate left, right, and center and open this portal, and you're going to get entities attached to you that may feel like it's your new power. And I've seen this happen to people where they open portals and then entities come, and they very powerful. So entities can be very beautiful, or they can be very dangerous. And once it's possessed over you, it kind of takes control of your body. And you may feel like you're powerful now, you're a powerful healer, but you're not. You've got an attachment, you're possessed by a potent energy who's controlling you. So you're literally like its little minion. Okay, I'm going to read your comment. It's about feeling it. I'm new in this world, but I feel that some things call me. Sorry for my poor English. Okay, no problem. You're doing very well. I understand you. Thank you for engaging in my crystal telepathy live stream. I really appreciate your presence. And if you say you're new in this world, does it mean that you've newly been interested in working with healing or crystals or energy, or you're just like new in this on this planet? Because you know some of us are new on Earth. Be specific. What would you like to know from me? I can maybe share with you something while you have my presence. This morning I did I had such a beautiful morning. I was called for an emergency house cleanse last night late, about 8 o'clock. Someone who just all of a sudden felt like there was a really strange energy in her home, and it was real. And she doesn't know how to deal with these things. She's like new to energy, but this thing was causing a lot of problems. It's causing health problems and death. And the minute she started speaking to me, I could feel the energy. And I said, okay, don't worry. I'm your person. I'm your girl. And so this morning I went and helped her out. But what I want to share about her and the magic that she is, she has 12 Siamese cat. What do you say, Siamese? I don't know how to say it. Siamese or Siamese? Depending on which country you're from, I guess. So I arrived and there's 12 cats in the space. And they're all like these cute little creatures. I was like, oh my God, I fell in love. It was just like, feel the energy. It's like a coven of cats, okay? It's so beautiful because, whoa, that flew so close by. Hi, I see you. Did you see that little, I think it's a beetle. It like really flew close. It's like, I'm going to show you I'm here. Sure, that's a weird energy. So beetles do, oh, I think somebody just attacked me. Interesting. Well, screw you. I don't know if you're on the other side of the camera, but so let me just raise my frequency. I love how I'm always somebody's target. And the Siamese cats are, so all the witches that are watching, I'm very psychic, so I can't see you, just be aware of it. My cat's watching the birds. I want to show you. Oh, I can't. I have to remove the green screen. 49. Oh, that's how oh shit, I just actually made a clip. How do I want to remove the green screen and quickly see if I can. Lily, can you? There's my Lily. She's watching the birds. I am a cat person, and when I looked at this lady's cats this morning, I fell in love with her 12 beings. But So I did a lot of healing for the cats. I did do a video on cat speak cat the other day. If anybody's interested to learn more about communicating with cats and being, creating even a greater, you can also form a telepathic link with your cats. And when something's wrong with them or physically they have an issue, then you can learn to communicate with them and figure out what's going on for them. But this morning I was doing healing. Yeah, your cat is there, Boris. I love cats. I think all people who are energy workers love cats. They do energy work with us. They definitely are magic beings that can work with you, and a lot of the times they come for you from many lifetimes. So it's some of us are linked to cats from many lifetimes before, and the cats come for us. And this lady this morning, it was so beautiful to see because she has 12 cats that came for her. I was like, wow, I only have one right now. She has 12 babies, and some of them are having physical issues. So I was doing some healing work on the cats, and it's just a pleasure for me to help animals heal energetically, because I mean I can do it and I love helping them in that way. All right, I feel like I need to end soon because it's almost an hour, and I enjoyed this talk. Thank you for sticking around. Don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry. I've been talking to you and I can't actually read your name. It's too small, the print, so maybe just write your name for me, then I can just say hi, or if you don't want to, you don't have to. Anyway, I'm sitting on there's a beautiful bunch of trees. Maybe I should share the view. Ellis, I want to share this view. Ellis, good. Nice to meet you. I don't know how to say it though. Let's remove the green screen again and turn this around because I want to show the trees that are joining our live. And they are saying, hi, everybody. Hello. Hello, world. Beautiful, magical trees that are around me. I lost connection there. Okay, I'm going to be saying goodbye, and I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed evening or morning. And if you are interested in energy healing or sound healing or having a home space and land clearing, I am in Cape Town at the moment. I only work in this area, but I do offer online sessions. If you want me to do an energy reading for you and a sound healing balance, then I can do that, and you can find out how to book a session with me. I offer that on a video call, and we can get going if you want me to work with you personally. And I do have a lot of success with my clients. I have testimonials, and just speak to me at any time. Sorry, some energy in my mouth now. Okay, I'm gonna have to go deal with it. Bye. Oh, sorry, you're asking, how can I wish it alive? Sorry, I'm just reading. Before I go, I'll read your question. How I wish I live. Well, just keep the vision and ask for it to exist in your universe. Bless you. Bye.